Since we got our new travel trailer, I've been wanting to upgrade our battery in it. So I'm going to show you what I got in order to do the upgrade. And I'm also going to find out, well, some 6-volt and 12-volt batteries, can you connect them together to hook it up to the camper? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Our camper only had just one lead acid deep cycle style battery in it. And actually it was really struggling last time we went out and camped. So I figured, well, it's time to do an upgrade on some batteries there. So I've been thinking about what I wanted to do. I know lithium is so popular, but that's not what I went with. I'll show you what I went with. Now let's take a look at the little storage area in front of the camper, because there's only a limited amount of room. I could actually put some batteries, or I can put some batteries inside the camper, and I'll show you that as well as what I was thinking. So let's get into it. Here's the battery that came with the camper, just a 12-volt group 24 marine RV deep cycle battery. And inside the front of our camper, there's where obviously the 2 propane tanks would go. The original battery is right there, strapped down in a box. And then as you can see, there's actually room back here to put 2 or 3 more batteries. But you know, to put 3 or 4 batteries in there, it would be very heavy on this front tongue of the camper. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or not, or if it's even strong enough. So that is a concern, because the batteries can be heavy. Let's go on inside and I'll show you where I was thinking about putting them inside. So inside, sorry, I gotta use a flashlight here because there's no power to the camper. So underneath the dinette, there's this big area here where I could put, you know, 3, 4, 5 batteries, whatever, in here. And I've already drilled a hole and ran the power wire in the ground through there. So I was thinking about putting it right in here, but I don't think I'm going to. Why would I not put them underneath the dinette, you ask? Well, I'll get into that here in just a moment. But what I did select to put in the camper, it's just an AGM battery. I just decided to go with AGM. I've had AGMs and a bunch of my boats and the RVs, and they've always worked great. And for the price point, you get a lot of power out of them. You can run them down many times. Like in my boats, I've ran the batteries just flat out dead and charge them back up, and they've been great. And that sort of thing with trolling motors and that sort of thing. So on campers, they've always worked out really well for us. The price point is definitely much cheaper than running or getting some lithium batteries. But the other problem was, in order for us to get lithium batteries, I was gonna have to upgrade the charger in the camper. Our charger in the camper is not rated for lithium batteries, so that would have been an extra upgrade. And it all kind of comes down to how we camp, you know. So if you're thinking about doing some upgrades on batteries for your camper, just, you know, think about how you camp. Like for us, we don't do a whole lot of boondocking. We'd like to be able to do a little bit if we want to. But in our area in North Georgia, there's just not much boondocking. Most of the time we're in a campground, so we don't need a giant, you know, battery and solar package on our camper. I mean, it's great if you can use it and you can afford it, go for it. But for us, we just don't need that much power. So really, you know, a couple 100 amp hours of battery will do everything just fine as far as, you know, running the lights and the furnace and that sort of thing, and whatever we need. So obviously not going to run the AC, but it'll do everything we need it to do. So what I did was go to eTrailer, as I always do when I'm looking to get something for our camper. I always check out eTrailer first, because I've always had, you know, some great products, and they always just seem to work for us. And so when I went to eTrailer, they had these Go Power 12 volt, 100 amp hour AGM batteries. So we decided to get some of those, and eTrailer was gracious enough to send those to us so we could try them out. And that's actually what I was planning on doing, was getting some AGM batteries to put in our camper. Again, the price point's better, and we don't have to change our charger in our camper, so that's saving us money, and they're going to work out for us. So let me show you what I got. So here's what I got: 2 AGM SunCycle Go Power batteries. You know, just one of them would have been an upgrade compared to what we had, but I decided I want to go ahead and try to get at least a couple hundred amp hours. So these are 12-volt batteries. I believe these are group 27. These are Sun Cycle AGM solar batteries, so you can use them with a solar package if you have solar panels. 100 amp hours, and they do come with the hardware if you need to use the hardware, or you can just use the posts by themselves. There will be a link below to these batteries. I want to say thank you to eTrailer for sending these to us. They're going to work great. I do recommend the AGM solar batteries from eTrailer, as I have used them in the past and they've worked great. So that's what we're going to put in there. But then I got to thinking about it. I was like, well, I got some 6-volt batteries as well. I also have some Go Power 6-volt batteries that I got from eTrailer, and just got these back in April, as you can see there, that I wrote on. I was like, well, can we connect our 6 volts and the 12-volt batteries all in one? And actually, because these 6-volt batteries are 224 amp hours, so we'd have to put these in series, and then the 12-volt AGMs over here are going to have to be in parallel. So when you put the 6-volt in series, you do not double the amp hours, but you do double the voltage. So let's connect them up and check it out. So I'm not suggesting that anybody do this. This is not a how-to video. This is just a what I'm doing video. So just kind of checking it out. And so let me know what you think, if this is a good idea, a bad idea, as far as putting all 4 of these batteries together to give some power to the camper. I don't think I'm going to put them all inside the camper, because AGM batteries can off gas a little bit, so I'm concerned about that. And there is no vent underneath the dinette. I could put one in maybe, but I don't think I'm going to do that as far as an exterior vent. I could actually get all 4 of them underneath the front on the front storage area where the batteries go, but that's a lot of weight. So that's about 300 pounds worth of batteries. So concerned about that, but let's try it out. So what I'm thinking is we've got a 12-volt and a 12-volt battery. I was just planning on putting those 2 in, and maybe I still will. And that'll give me 200 amp hours of AGM battery. But I got these 2 6-volts, and they're each 224 amp hours, but together they will still only be 224 amp hours. You do not double the amp hours. You double the voltage on the 6 volts to get the 12 volts. So what I'm going to have to do is, on the 6 volt, I'm going to have to put these in series. And then for the 12 volts, I'm going to have to put those in parallel. And then I'm going to have to put these 6 volts, once they're in series, I'm going to parallel those to these 12 volts, and then it'll be 12 volts all the way across with 224 amp hours. So a total of 424 amp hours altogether. I don't have to use them. I just thought, well, I got them, so let's see what happens. So here's my little chart that I drew up on how I'm going to connect the batteries. Pretty simple. You got the 12 volts there, the 6 volts here, and you connect the positive to one side of one 6 volt, and the negative to the opposite battery 6 volt, and then connect the negative to the positive on the 6 volts there. So that gives us 12 volts right here, and then these are each 12 volts, and then we parallel them together. So let's give it a shot. Before I connect all 4 of the batteries, let's just go ahead and check out the voltage here for these batteries. We got 6.19 there on that one. Over here we got 6.21. So 6 volts there, and then the 12 volt batteries, we got 1301 and 1302. So before we connect our 6 volts to our 12 volt batteries, let's just go ahead and take a look at, I've connected the negative on the left battery to the positive on the right battery. So that way it should give us 12 volts. Let's check that out. 12.4 volts. So now we got 12 volts here, 12 volts there, and 12 volts on the first battery. So let's connect them all together and see what happens. All right, well, we got all 4 batteries connected. Our 6 volts here and our two 12 volts here. And we have the two 12 volts in parallel. We have the two 6 volts in series together right there. But then as a whole, they're connected in parallel to the 12 volts. So we should just have 12 volts. We'll put the positive on the first battery and the negative on the fourth battery, and there we go, 12.79 volts. So that works out great. So we could actually still run the 6 volt batteries and the 12 volt batteries all together on the same setup, and it would give us 424 amp hours with all 4 of these batteries. Yes, there are different types of batteries, so the 6 volt batteries would discharge at a different rate from the 12 volt batteries, but 12 volts is 12 volts, so that part shouldn't really matter, and they'll just kind of work themselves out as far as the discharge rate, but it should do the job. So let's try to hook it up to the camper and really see if it works. All right, we're back in the camper. Let me just push my battery cable and ground cable back down through the hole that I drilled here. This wire here to tuck it in. Hopefully I can reach to the batteries outside. This wire here is actually going to go to our electric jack. Well, it's not going to quite reach. I got to push some of these batteries back. The ground will reach. Positive, not quite so much. Go ahead and hook up the positive side here. Take the ground. Now these the positive and negative cables from the camper, those are the original cables. I haven't done anything with those, so I just kind of relocated them over here to this side so that I could put them up into the dinette if I wanted to, but if I decide to put them back onto the tongue of the camper, I'm gonna have to put them back. But since I got enough cable, go ahead and hook them up. All right, there it is. Camper's connected to the positive on the first battery and the ground on the fourth battery. Should be 12 volts all the way across. So let's go inside and turn some lights on. Turn our battery shut off on. That came on okay. Got some lights. Got the radio coming on over there. Yeah, all right. It works. There we go. We got, turn this radio off here. It's annoying. It comes on every time we turn the battery on. By the way, if you do want lithium batteries, E-Trailer does sell those as well. I just preferred to go for the AGM batteries this time around, so that way I don't have to change out our charger on the camper. But they got them both, AGMs and lithiums. Well, there it is. It works. We've got 12 volts with 6 volt batteries and 12 volt batteries together. That's pretty cool. I just kind of woke up the other day and I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, you know what? I got those two 6 volts in the garage. I was like, can we put them together? I don't know. I've never seen anybody do it. I'm sure somebody probably has on YouTube. I don't know. But I just thought about it and I was like, well, if we wire them properly, why not? Now, again, I'm not recommending anybody do this, but, is it a bad thing? I don't know.
I'm not an electrical engineer. If anybody out there want to suggest if that's a good idea or a bad idea, I know they will discharge at different rates because they are different batteries. Even if you had two 12-volt batteries of different kinds, they would discharge most likely at a different rate as well. So, it's better to have like kind batteries all the way across the board, but I don't. They are all the same brand. So I don't know. They work. So let me know down below what you think about this idea. I'm not sure how I'm going to set it up on our camper yet because I don't know if I'm going to just put two in the front, or I could even put some in our front storage area here. And because I just don't know if I want to put 300 pounds worth of batteries on the front. They are heavy, being AGMs. So that is the advantage of getting a lithium battery. It would be, half the weight. And you still get 100 amp hour batteries out of those, but they are expensive, and we would have to change our converter again, our converter charger. So that's where I'm at. So when I get done with whatever I'm going to do with the batteries, I am going to also add in a battery monitor from Go Power that I had used before. It's great, I love it. And but right now I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Should I just go with the two 12-volt batteries, or should I go with all four batteries, 6 volts and 12 volts together, and have 424 amp hours? Do I really need it? Probably not. But if we put all four of them in, had 400 amp hours, we could put a 2,000 watt inverter in. And if we needed to charge them up on the road, we could just bring our generator and charge them up. So we don't have any solar. So there wouldn't be complications as far as that with solar controllers or anything like that. So just a very basic 12-volt setup. So let me know what you think. Appreciate you hanging around watching, and we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye-bye.